ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. Well, those were the words of Keyshawn Davis after Lemos missed weight earlier today on the scale. He missed weight. He missed weight not by 3 pounds like Ryan Garcia. No, how about double that? He missed weight by 6 pounds. Isn't that amazing? But like you heard Keyshawn Davis say, I'm getting paid more money. So it doesn't make a difference to him. The show must go on. You see, I told y'all before, when this happened with Ryan Garcia missing weight and the fight still was going to continue, the process that happens behind the scenes is basic, very standard, where the promoter will basically congregate with the representation of the fighters if they both or one of them have a professional boxing manager representing their interests. And if they don't, then the promoter will just pull the fighters to the side and let them know what options they both have. In particular, the fighter who misses weight, if there's a belt on the line, unfortunately will lose their title on the scale. We've seen this happen in boxing time and time again. But in this case, the A side is Keyshawn Davis. He is being promoted by Top Rank, so he didn't miss weight. He made the weight, but his opponent Lemos missed weight. And the thing about it is that Lemos came in 6 pounds over the weight and didn't even apologize. I mean, it was extremely unprofessional. Coming in over the weight, period, is unprofessional. But at the same time, at the last minute, I'm talking about the drip drop last minute, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours prior to the weigh-in, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours prior to the weigh-in. It's hard to lose that weight. 24 hours before weigh-in. It is extremely difficult for fighters to lose weight in general. But it's like towards the end, it gets much more difficult for professional boxers to lose weight, especially if they're coming into training camp already outside of the weight perimeters. So they're fighting against the weight and not training as far as tactical and technical strategy. They're focused more on making the weight and losing weight. And I'm not saying this will happen with Lemos, but coming in 6 pounds over the weight lets us all know that obviously he had trouble making the weight because he had to lose the weight. But this is a strategy that happens behind the scenes in boxing where matchmakers scout fighters who do have to go and drain themselves as opponents. You understand where I'm getting at with this, right? Knowing that, hey, it's a possibility that this fighter here might not be on weight, which is a strategy that's used to make the opponent drain down to the level of the A side, so that the A side, which obviously is the promoter's fighter, will have a clearer advantage. But that process and that strategy can also backfire if the opponent rehydrates and becomes much bigger than the A side. And then, of course, that becomes an advantage to and for the opponent. But in this case, we don't know. I mean, we know that Keyshawn Davis has only 12 professional fights, but he's competing against an opponent who has nearly 30 professional fights, doesn't have the power to keep Keyshawn Davis honest. But at this point, what difference does it make? Because the fight is going to continue, is going to go on, as Keyshawn Davis said. And guess what happens when both fighters and or their representation congregate with the promoter? Well, there's money to be made, more money for the fighter who did not miss weight. And that's the part of the business of boxing that most fans don't know of. That is, hey, this fighter missed weight, a percentage of their purse will have to be deducted from them, and then not just deducted, but actually transferred to the fighter who didn't make weight if both combatants, both fighters agree for the show to continue. Because let's keep it 100. Let's be honest. Let's be real. If both fighters don't agree, then guess what? There is no fight. And guess who lose the purse? Both fighters. So in order to save the show, save the event, because all of their fans, all of their friends, all of their family members will obviously be in attendance. And also they need the money because this is their profession. So to save, the promotion and to still collect the bag, both fighters typically will say, okay, yes, we'll agree to fight, irregardless of this fighter missing weight, like Lemos just did. And look, he comes in 6 pounds overweight. We don't know what advantage and or disadvantage it will play a part for him in this fight. Of course, Keyshawn Davis is the favorite in this fight. I think that as far as on paper is concerned, he's the toughest opponent that Keyshawn Davis obviously has fought. I mean, the most successful, more notoriety, name recognized opponent was Pedraza. But Keyshawn Davis is going to make sure that this home cooked meal that he's going to get is going to be worth his while, because he's going to be in front of all of his fans, all of his family members, all of his friends, and he's home. He has the home court advantage. Everything is stacked against Lemos in this fight, including, I believe, the weight. So even though he's going to come in probably a few pounds over the weight rehydration, I'm talking about natural rehydration, because Keyshawn Davis is a small frame kind of guy. He's going to come in, he's going to be rehydrated, but I think he's going to be a few pounds smaller than Lemos. I don't think it's going to have any bearing in this fight. It's probably going to slow Lemos down, that extra weight anyway. And then I believe Keyshawn Davis is going to dominate in this fight. But don't sleep on Lemos. This can be a very tough competition for Keyshawn, or it can be an easy one. It's up to Keyshawn and how he responds and adjusts. I think he'll do pretty well in this fight. We shall see. It's a really good card, especially in Norfolk. A lot of things don't happen in Norfolk pertaining to professional boxing. So this is good business for every party involved. And I think that Lemos definitely, after being penalized, should learn his lesson moving forward, not to be unprofessional. And it is hard making weight. And these things happen in boxing. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.